So I messed up and so cold and I can't stop shivering. My teeth are chattering.
Oh gosh. We're Mark and Donna, and for the last 7 months, we have been living and traveling across the U.S. in our van. In last episode, we made our way to Zion National Park, where we climbed to the peak of Angel's Landing. This week, we continue our exploration of Zion as we hike through the Virgin River on the Narrows.
Good morning, day 3 here in Zion, and today we are hiking the Narrows. So excited. First though, we gotta rent some gear, so we're gonna run into town, and then we'll head to the trail. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we got our gear, about to catch the bus, and then start the hike.
Yay!
Here's what you need to know about the shuttle bus system.
All right, we made it to our bus stop. In order to get to the entrance to the Narrows, you first have to walk along the Riverside Walk. It's about a 1.1 mile hike. Super easy, it's paved, really pretty as well. It's a little chilly out. I think it's about 50 degrees right now, and it's a little windy as well.
So it feels like 45.
Yeah, it's definitely cold.
I've heard it's cold year-round, this hike, the Narrows, but it's especially cold right now, and there's not a lot of sun in the Narrows.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
We'll make the best of it. We were talking to the ranger the other day, and I believe they said the water temperature was 49 degrees. But that was also like a month ago they measured it, so it's probably even colder now. These boots are not waterproof. They are like somewhat insulated, but I'm pretty sure our feet are gonna be super numb. Why do we do this? All right, so here is our gear we're using. We rented this from Zion Outfitters. It gives you a full waterproof cover that goes from your ankles to your chest. Donna is modeling so nicely. With it, it also includes these water boots and neoprene socks. These are not waterproof, so our feet will get wet, but it is supposed to at least help insulate it some and keep them a little bit warmer. And we also get a hiking stick to help us not fall on the rocks that we're gonna be climbing over. I left mine behind just because I'm gonna be carrying the camera and I want to have a hand free, but Donna does have her stick with her. And then lastly, this is not part of the package, this is my own. This is just a waterproof GoPro bag that I bought. I've had this for a few years and it works really well for keeping things dry. This was $55 per person, so it came out to $110 after tax. I think it was like $119. You definitely want this in this time of year though. If you're in the summer, you could probably get away without it.
You do want to layer on top because it does not keep you warm. It only keeps you dry.
Here we go, we reached the end of the river walk. This is where the Narrows officially begins. We will be walking up the river through the canyon that direction. Time to get the 360 camera out. It's gonna be cold. All right, here we go.
We're about to get started.
You ready?
I'm ready, let's do it.
High five.
We'll see, I guess. Oh yeah, I feel it, it's going in.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Your first like 2 steps aren't bad. You're like, oh, and then the water seeps in.
Oh my goodness.
And then it gets freezing.
Oh, that'll wake you up, huh?
That will. So in case you aren't familiar with the Narrows, it's a trail. Well, more like a walk through the Narrows part of Zion Canyon. Essentially, you're hiking through a cold river against the current over uneven ground and rocks. It's definitely not your typical hike, but I think that's partly what draws so many people to this hike each year. Well, that and the incredible views. There's just something about being in the bottom of a canyon with 1,000-foot walls rising above you and the Virgin River rushing past your feet that makes you feel alive. Since this is a fairly challenging hike though, we decided to mainly film on our 360 camera since it's much smaller, easier to carry, and more waterproof than our mirrorless. So sorry if the footage doesn't look quite as nice as normal, but I try to minimize the time I was taking my Sony out just to limit the chance of dropping it in the water. This is so cool. Honestly, one of the coolest hikes I've ever done, I think. You definitely feel the current though, pushing against you.
Oh, just a walk in the park, you know.
Just hiking down a river through a canyon, you know, no big deal.
It's getting deeper.
Just another day.
My gosh.
We're gonna try different routes. Donna's going to the right, I'm going to the left. We'll see which is better.
Oh my gosh. It's cold. Yep, it's going all the way up.
So shallow.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, we made it to Mystery Canyon Falls. There's a little waterfall right next to us. How pretty. Doing great, babe. Oh, Donna just fell.
Did you see that?
Yep, I sure did. Did both gloves get wet?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I landed on both of my hands.
Those gloves aren't gonna help much anymore. The parts where the current is strong, you really feel it. It's really pushing against you. How are your feet?
They're freezing, but they're still functional.
Mine are definitely a little numb. Careful.
Woo! Oh my God. Oh God. I wish I had another stick now. Help!
Use your stick.
It's gonna take me away!
Keep going, you got it, babe.
Wait.
Hand me your stick.
It was so strong.
You made it.
Having the stick helps because I almost fell back there.
Yeah.
And I was able to grip myself, keep myself upright with the stick.
Yeah, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but you're pretty much just walking on a bunch of rocks and they have obviously water moving over them. So they're pretty slick and you're not like on level ground. So it is very easy to slip or roll your ankle. So be mindful of that. Ooh, getting real deep again.
Woo! Get over here.
When the water gets up high, even though we're not getting wet, it's so cold, you can still feel the coldness through these. You almost think you're getting wet at first, but it's just the coldness of the water. These canyon walls are so tall, like it's hard to fathom. I don't think the camera can really capture just how tall these walls around us are. It's wild. Walking against this is like, I'm literally using all my strength just to walk against the water. If you go that way, it might be easier. Keep going.
It's so strong. Oh God. You want to hold each other's hand?
There you go. Found a buddy. Some parts are definitely a little tricky to navigate.
Yeah.
Thank you for the help. If you're wondering how long this hike is, technically it's 16 miles in and 16 miles back, but obviously most people don't hike the whole thing. It's really up to you how far you want to go in, and if you just want to experience it, you can always go in for a mile and then turn around. Most people typically go in about 2 to 3 miles, but I've heard there are some incredible views further in. We were originally planning on going in 3 to 4 miles before turning around, but after over an hour of trekking through freezing cold water, we decided we were ready to head back. All right, we are making our way back. I think we did about 2.5 miles into the Narrows itself. So we got about 2.5 miles back, and then we got the 1 mile walk along the river walk back after that to get back to the shuttle stop. My feet are extremely numb. I literally can't feel my toes, but this is so worth it. So cool. It's just a whole experience in itself, and like I can't describe how it feels to be inside this canyon. It's unreal. I think we got some cool shots, cool photos, cool videos, and a lot of memories. Made it into the sun.
Oh, what a difference. The sun makes me feel so much better. It really makes a difference when the sun's out.
And just like that, it's gone.
Yep.
We had about 10 seconds of sun. It's a super sunny day, but we're just so far down deep in the canyons that the sun just doesn't really get down here. Fun fact, this whole thing used to be flat like a million years ago. And then there was some, I don't know if it was like earthquake or plate movement, and it created this fissure. And then the river ran through it and has been like eating it away over millions of years. And now we have these giant canyons. How cool is that? Oh, don't lose your stick. I've come close to falling a few times, but I haven't fallen yet. Keep catching myself.
Made it worse.
Yeah.
Look at all the water coming out.
I can't feel my hands. So I messed up. We were walking through the really deep part, and I'm like, oh, this will make a really good like reel or Instagram story. So I grabbed Donna's phone out to record her going through, and I drop it in the water in the really deep section where it's super murky and you can't even see down. So I dive under to try to find it. Obviously I'm no longer dry. But the good news is I did find her phone. I couldn't even see, so I was just like feeling around and like with my hands, and it took literally 10 minutes of searching, but we finally found her phone. I am now freezing, and my suit is now full of water. It's like trapped inside here. Like this is all water down here. I don't think I've ever been this cold in my life. So I'm gonna try to take this off, let all the water out, and try to get back as quick as we can before I get hypothermia.
We're gonna find a dry spot so Mark can take off his clothes.
I feel so heavy right now.
Wow. I was so upset when he told me he dropped my phone. I heard like a splash and I turned around. I'm like, what was that? And I knew immediately. I was so mad. But he redeemed himself. He's back on my good side. He got my phone back. And it's still working. Because y'all, I got my credit card, I have my license in there.
Google Pixels.
Google Pixel.
They do a good job with water.
It's doing a good job so far with the water. It was, I think it was like 5 minutes in the water before he finally found it. He was looking for a while. Whew. Too much excitement for today.
My teeth are chattering.
Oh gosh. I'm sorry, baby.
I'm gonna keep moving. Alright, we made it back to the van. I was so cold. I had to turn the diesel heater on in the van, and I'm just sitting in front of it trying to warm up. I could not stop shivering like the entire way back. And then we had a 40-minute bus ride back to the visitor center where we're parked at. But it was fun. No regrets. Definitely would recommend the hike, but would not recommend to drop your phone and have to dive in after it, because that was not fun. But yeah, we're gonna chill here, dry off, warm up, and then probably get some food, and then we gotta go return our rental gear. I'm just glad we found the phone. That was crazy. I was literally searching for like 10 minutes looking for it, and I couldn't find it, and my hands were numb. I was soaked. Everything was numb, and we were about to give up. And I'm like, let me go look one more time, and I happened to feel it under there and came up with it. Got a good story to tell, at least.